Hello, my name is Pooja. Welcome to this week's episode of Around the World. We will talk about Prince Shinzo Abe, who dominated Japanese politics for 2 decades in today's story. Recently, former Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe was assassinated. The news of his assassination shook the entire world. This incident has once again raised the questions about the security of global leaders. It is not the first time that a politician has been publicly murdered. Several other prominent leaders of the world have been assassinated before. In India, the assassinations of the father of the nation Mahatma Gandhi, former Prime Minister Indira Gandhi and Rajiv Gandhi were executed in a somewhat similar fashion. Several global politicians like former US President Abraham Lincoln, John Kennedy, Martin Luther King, who advocated the rights of blacks and is known as Gandhi of America, former Prime Minister of Pakistan Benazir Bhutto, and the first President of Bangladesh, Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, were also assassinated. Now, it has happened in an otherwise peaceful country, Japan. These days, preparations for parliamentary elections are going on in Japan. Therefore, Shinzo Abe was delivering a speech at an election rally for his Democratic Party in Nara, the western part of Japan. During the speech, an ex-army man named Tetsuya Yamagini shot him. He died a few hours after being shot. The incident has not only shocked the people of Japan, but the whole world. It is hard to believe that such an incident took place in a country like Japan, where there is a minimal gun culture. The process of buying a gun in Japan is quite complicated. If a Japanese person desires to purchase a gun there, he is required to go through several tests. He is required to attend shooting classes, appear in a written test, and also pass a shooting range test with at least 95% marks. His mental health is checked, drug tests are done, and criminal records are also checked. His family members, relatives, and colleagues are also screened. Furthermore, the Japanese police have the power to refuse granting a gun license to any individual. The police can also search and confiscate weapons. The purchase of handguns is strictly prohibited in Japan. Here, people can only purchase shotguns and air rifles. Therefore, the question arises that how Shinzo Abe was assassinated in a country like Japan, where there are such strict rules for purchasing arms. The Japanese police are striving hard to resolve the mystery and find the culprit behind this incident. Several pertinent questions arise at this juncture. Who is behind Shinzo Abe's assassination? Where does Shinzo Abe stand in global politics? We will try to find answers to these questions in today's story. But first of all, let us take a brief look at Shinzo Abe's life. Shinzo Abe, one of the world's prominent leaders, was raised in a political family in Japan. His father, Shintaro Abe, served as the foreign minister of Japan, while his maternal grandfather, Nobusuke Kishi, served as the prime minister of Japan. His grandfather, Ken Abe, was also a renowned Japanese politician. He was a member of the House of Representatives of Japan. Therefore, Shinzo Abe is called the Prince of Japanese politics. Shinzo Abe became the youngest Prime Minister of Japan in 2006. He returned to the post of Prime Minister in 2012 and served as the Prime Minister till 2020. He also holds the record for the longest serving Prime Minister of Japan. He resigned from his post on 28 August 2020, citing health issues. While being the Prime Minister, he presented a distinct identity for Japan on the world stage. The Japanese economy became one of the strongest economies in the world due to his tireless efforts. His far-sighted policy of reforming the economy was called Abenomics. His efforts gave new energy to the spirit of innovation and entrepreneurship among the Japanese. However, Shinzo Abe's popularity went through many ups and downs during his tenure as PM because of his ultra-nationalism. He often had to face challenges on the internal and external fronts. His assassinator has revealed during the interrogation that he was not satisfied with Abe's policies. His mother became bankrupt due to these policies. However, the allegation has not been confirmed yet. It is also being speculated that some foreign powers might be behind Abe's assassination. Moreover, Shinzo Abe was known for his aggressive attitude in defense and foreign affairs. His biggest dream was to change the constitution of Japan. However, he could not succeed in doing so. It is a well-known fact that Japan was defeated in World War II. At that time, the US forcibly imposed a pacifist constitution on Japan, taking advantage of the situation. Shinzo Abe wanted to change Article 9 of the Constitution of Japan, which states that Japan would give up the war completely. Article 9 prohibits Japan from sending its troops to foreign soil in the event of a war. Most of the people of Japan object to Article 9 as it threatens the country's regional security. Let us take a look at the world map to understand Japan's security concerns. Japan is a chain of islands located between the northwestern Pacific Ocean and the Sea of Japan. It is an East Asian country located near the eastern coast of the Korean Peninsula. The Tsushima Strait separates it from the Korean Peninsula. Japan is surrounded by the Sea of Okhotsk to the northeast, Sea of Japan to the west and northwest, the East China Sea to the southwest, and the Pacific Ocean to the east and southeast. It shares its maritime borders with North Korea, South Korea, Taiwan, Russia, and China, etc. The countries sharing border with China often face threat to their territorial integrity. China has territorial disputes with almost all of its neighboring countries. China's imperialist attitude is becoming a threat to its neighboring countries. As a neighboring country, Japan is under direct threat from China. China's growing military power and presence are also a matter of concern. However, Japan worked on various fronts to deal with the Chinese threat under Shinzo Abe's leadership. Shinzo Abe's contribution to Quad's establishment is unparalleled. Quad, that is Quadrilateral Security Dialogue, is a strategic and security dialogue forum between India, the US, Japan, and Australia. Its formation was conceptualized by Shinzo Abe in 2007 for countering the growing dominance of China in the Indo-Pacific region. Consequently, China's conflict with Japan started increasing. Japan and South Korea were also at loggerheads in terms of trade in the region. Japan's Fukushima nuclear power plant was damaged in March 2011 due to a strong earthquake and tsunami. Thereafter, a different kind of disaster emerged in this region. Radioactive substances started leaking in the region. As a result, more than 1 million tons of water got polluted. When Japan approved a plan to release this polluted water into the sea, then it was opposed by various countries, including South Korea and China. Hence, South Korea banned the import of food items, especially fish products, from Japan. Since then, trade tensions have escalated between Japan and South Korea. During Shinzo Abe's tenure, Japan's tensions with China and South Korea had escalated so much that local media in both the countries reported celebrations for Abe's assassination. However, Shinzo Abe's demise was mourned in various countries, including India, the US, Canada, and France. A day's national mourning was observed in India in Abe's honor. His relationship with India was not merely formal, but was personal as well, especially with Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Abe was a great advocate of Indo-Japanese friendship. The mutual relations between both the countries were not limited to only strategic relations. India and Japan also increased their cooperation on issues of economic, cultural, and national importance, as well as the security of this entire region. The Japan-India Association acts like a bridge in strengthening the relations between the two countries. Shinzo Abe, in an address to the Parliament of India in 2007, laid the foundation for the rise of Indo-Pacific region. He also presented the vision that how this region can give a new shape to the world, politically, strategically, and economically in the times to come. He openly supported India several times during the event of India-China conflict, also adopted a cooperative attitude with India at many global forums. Shinzo Abe's contribution to forums like Quad and ASEAN, or initiatives like the Indo-Pacific Ocean Initiative, the Asia-Africa Growth Corridor, or the Coalition for Disaster Resilient Infrastructure has been exemplary. He had played a cardinal role in strengthening India-Japan relations. He was also conferred Padma Vibhushan by the Government of India in 2021. He will always be remembered as a great leader, a charming personality, and a friendly statesman. Let us look at the question based on today's story. Evaluate Shinzo Abe's contributions towards curbing China's expansionist policy in the Indo-Pacific region.